Parry from Equity.Guru here with my 3-minute hit. This one is on Azincourt Uranium. I haven't talked about them for a while. AAZ, little history. We've been dealing with Alex Clement, the CEO of this company, for many years, and he's never led us wrong. He was in charge of Nexus Gold, and has been one of the most straight shooters over the last several years that we've been talking about that commodity. Now, in Azincourt, we had a little video with him a couple of months back, just before they announced a rollback of the stock, 2.5 to 1. We spent a lot of time explaining why that rollback was necessary and why it was a healthy thing for the company long term. And in the wake of that, the stock price only dropped half a cent, which is really good on news of a rollback, generally speaking. Unfortunately, by the time the rollback was executed, the markets in general had cratered, and any benefit in stock price that might have been there was completely kind of wiped out as the stock rolled back to exactly the same price that it was pre-rollback. So now you've got a company that's worth a lot less money, but has actually gone out and raised a bunch of money after that rollback. So, before the rollback. This is a company that raised, I think, $14 million. They're sitting on about $12 million in cash right now, and the market cap is $14 million. So basically, if you discount the cash on that market cap, you're looking at a situation where Azincourt, you get everything for $2 million. That's kind of crazy. So an interesting project. Uranium is always weird on the prospecting side. People don't really know what to make of results, generally speaking. And when you're looking for incidences in your drill results, at the best of times, things can be a bit confusing. You generally need someone with some technical know-how to translate. Now, the problem here is that they've got a lot of land, and they've done a big drill program that didn't necessarily have knock it out of the park results when the results finally came out. Added to which, the labs took about 6 months to actually get the results back. There's a real manpower problem at some of the labs right now. So what could have been news that was just regular was long-awaited news that was regular, and thus took the stock down again. So, okay, so you've got a company that has done some results. They weren't magical, but they weren't terrible. Essentially what the company was doing was trying to figure out, is there uranium down there somewhere? They weren't trying to find the magic hole. They weren't trying to crank out a one-day discovery. What they were trying to do was say, we've got a lot of space here to look at, and we want to make sure that we're covering that space decently. A lot of background talk rather than specifically we pulled up this percentage. So interesting in terms of the long range, interesting in terms of helping them figure out where they want to zero in, if they want to zero in anytime soon. But the thing that's interesting to me is that fat cash that they're sitting on. They raised money before the markets turned sour. Now they have the ability to make good use of it, whether that's drilling, whether that's acquiring something that's going to go sell for cheap. Having $12 million in the bank right now, and knowing that you don't have to go back to the market for money anytime in the next 18 months to 2 years is great stuff. But if you need to, if the things are desperate out there in the marketplace, you can always just stop drilling and salvage that cash for the time when you get better use out of it. So the risk side of things on Azincourt is shifted back from maybe they won't raise money, then raise money. Maybe people won't support them institutionally, people are supporting them institutionally. Maybe people won't partner up, people have partnered up. Maybe they won't find any uranium. Well, they found some uranium indications. Now, what they really need is a discovery level result. And that's not going to come in the next few weeks. It may come in the fall when they do more drilling. It may take longer than that. But at this particular time, this company is a $14 million company with $12 million in the bank, plus a well-advanced project. Now, everything in the future is going to hinge on two things. One, what does uranium do as a sector? Is there really interest in it as a green energy replacement of fossil fuels and coal? Seems to me that that's the case. It's difficult to get a nuclear power plant up and running right now, because every 3 months there's another Netflix documentary about previous uranium plants that did things wrong and put people at risk. Now, 3 Mile Island, you're talking about the 70s and a corporate malfeasance. Chernobyl, you're talking about Soviet era technology, and beyond that, Fukushima, probably not a great idea to build a nuclear power plant on an earthquake belt. But take those three aside, and you've got very many nuclear power plants that are in operation today that have never had an incident, never had a problem. You have an old-time problem of what do you do with the nuclear waste, which has been much reduced now and largely taken care of. I'm not going to say it's completely problem-free, but there's a big hole in the ground out in Nevada where it all goes. Beyond that, an increasing number of countries are relying on nuclear energy and finding that it solves their energy problems. So as more of those come online, and hell, if I was the Prime Minister of Canada, I'd have them dotted along the north, right along the countryside, and be selling energy to the US for whatever I could get. But hey, that's going to take maybe, let's say 5 years to 10 years for people to get past their heebie-jeebies of uranium and get to that place. What I like about Azincourt right now isn't that they're going to be a uranium producer in 10 years. I think there's no value in the stock to that. What I like about it is the risk is, one, do we stop uranium power nuclear use altogether? No. Two, do they have enough money to get through bad times if bad times are coming? Yes. Three, if they do continue to drill and play out this project and find that it's not quite what they're looking for, do they have enough cash in hand to find another property? And the answer to that is hells to the yes. So where is my risk attached to Azincourt? Right now is purely around stigma. Right now, people are downgrading uranium where they shouldn't be. People aren't thinking about nuclear power when they should be as a green alternative. They're not looking at Azincourt because Azincourt hasn't given them the, hey, look at us results, and because the results have been slow in getting out. So to me, long term, if I'm looking at this as a Moneyball opportunity, where the market has discounted and discounted and discounted to the point where it's trading at cash value, that's a good thing. That's really lowering my risk, because something being found here and being spun off to a partner, sold off, or being expanded upon, that's a much higher, I think, percentage likelihood than this thing goes to zero. So for mine, Azincourt right now is a damn bargain. A damn bargain. And if you look at the market cap of this company that was playing in the $40 million range before the rollback and is now $14 million, you're getting all the discounts till the end of time. This thing is not worse off than it was when it raised money. It's better off. It's further progressed. And I think in a position where if you're like me and you think the market is an idiot sometimes and you can find real good stuff in scraps that others have left behind, AAZ, take a look, see what you think. If it's in your risk tolerance area and you like a bit of uranium exposure, I can definitely think of worse.